Ryan Villopoto competed in the AMA Motocross Championships from 2005 to 2014. He is 4-time 450 AMA Supercross Champion, 2-time 450 AMA Motocross Champion, 3-time 250 AMA Motocross Champion and 1-time 250 West Supercross Champion. He was also a member of winning USA team at 2006, 2007, 2008 and 2011 on Motocross Des Nations. Villopoto raced his entire career for the Kawasaki factory racing team. His retirement from the Supercross was announced on January 3, 2015, on the opening day of 2015 Monster Energy Supercross season. At the end of 2014, fans received unexpected and unbelievable rumors that Ryan Villopoto will be heading to race in Europe. Shortly after, the rumors were finally confirmed that Ryan indeed will be competing in 2015 FIM World Motocross Series in the MXGP class. The 9-time US champion has signed with the Monster Energy Kawasaki team of Europe with the intention of bringing Kawasaki the first World Championship in the MXGP class. Sadly, we didn't get to see Ryan compete for full season as he crashed at round 4 in Italy and injured himself. Let's take a look at how Ryan Villopoto was doing before his crash and his experience in Europe in general. MXGP format was very unusual for Villopoto, because instead of one-day format like we run in America, MXGP is a 2-day event with a time training and qualifying race on Saturday and main races on Sunday. In time practice, the place you finish at allows you to pick a starting gate at qualifying race. So let's say you finish time practice in 5th position, then you have a 5th guy in the queue to pick a starting gate. Same with qualifying race, the place you finish at allows you to pick a gate for main races on Sunday. Qualifying race is like a normal race, but shorter, it's 20 minutes plus 2 laps instead of 30 minutes plus 2 laps like on main races. First race for Ryan was MXGP of Qatar. Time practice was extremely close between top 10 riders. 1st and 10th positions were only 1 second apart. Villopoto placed in 7th, 0.8 seconds slower than leader Clement Desalle. In qualifying race, Ryan got pretty decent start and finished lap 1 in 7th position. He was tracking down Sean Simpson for 6th, but on lap 3 Villopoto tipped over and dropped down to 11th. By the time the checker flag waved, he managed to get up to 8th, and that was okay gate pick for tomorrow's races. It was finally the time for the moment we all been waiting for. First official gate drop for Ryan Villopoto. Ryan was enjoying this so much that he decided to give everyone a head start to make it harder for himself. Jokes aside, Ryan stalled his bike and was dead last on the gate. It appeared that Villopoto was feeling way better than yesterday as he was charging through the field and quickly caught up to top 10. His charge was stalled by Jose Butron when he was passing him on the outside. Jose jumped out of his wreck and put Ryan on the ground, dropping him back around 20th place. It was definitely a bummer, but Villopoto didn't give up and pushed until the end. His hard work earned him his first top 10 moto finish in World Championship Series as he crossed the checker flag in 9th position. Not the best jump for Ryan at the start of Moto 2, but after making some opening lap passes, he finished lap 1 in 7th position. It looked like this start was an opportunity to show what he was made of and go after front runners, but that was not the case. Instead of moving forward, Ryan was passed by Roman Febra and dropped to 8th place where he had lonely ride until the finish. It was debut full of drama for Ryan Villopoto, but he still got 7th overall at his very first MXGP race, which was very impressive considering how the races went. He scored 25 points at the MXGP of Qatar. Next up, the championship went to Thailand, and that's where everything turned around. Even from 3 practice sessions, you could see that round 1 misfortune fired a spark inside Villopoto as he topped 3 practice session 1.8 seconds faster than anybody else on the track. In time practice session, some other riders stepped up, but Ryan finished the session in 2nd place, 0.6 seconds behind Clement Desalle. It was a man-made motocross track in Thailand, and maybe it was more of an American style track, but Villopoto was a different animal on this track. In qualifying race it was drama-free run for Ryan as he got the whole shot and never looked back. He pulled 33-second gap over 2nd place and lapped up to 19th place. Calm, steady and clean race. First of any sort of win in Europe in the books and pole position for Sunday's races. In Moto 1 it looked like a bad start for Ryan, but somehow he snuck inside and ended first corner in 3rd position. I am sorry for the video quality, but that's what MXGP2E had on their website. On 2nd corner after the start, Villopoto just trailed the outside rod and made 2 passes in 1 corner for the lead. Just like in qualifying race, he never looked back and won the moto by 10 seconds over Clement de Sal.
Took the checkered flag to win his first ever MXGP race. He did it here in race 1 in Thailand from Clement de Sal.
Similar start in Moto 2, but Ryan wasn't that lucky again and got squeezed to the inside line. He was around 7th position after the first corner.
So Villopoto then going around the outside, where is he? 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th position.
Quick few passes and he finished opening lap in 5th. Next on the list was Dean Ferris in 4th. Sadly, the broadcast cut off to replay and we didn't see how the pass happened, but it looked like he got way better driving the wave section. Shortly after he was already on the back of Jeremy Van Horebeke for podium position. It looked like Ryan was riding with a lot of intensity and might even catch up to the leader. It took a while to find a way around Van Horebeke, but by 20-minute mark he finally moved past him.
Take there, and Villopoto will have the advantage at the end of the straight, whichever way you look at it. They'll crest the hill and already, there he goes up into.
From there on he tried to close the gap to the leaders, but wasn't successful, and that was the position he finished the race in. It was enough for Villopoto to grab the overall win with 1 free moto scores. His first and only win in MXGP. In 3 weeks time, we were heading to Argentina for round 3 of World Motocross Championship. Free practice began, and it looked like Ryan came back where he left off. He set the fastest time of the session. In time practice, Villopoto clocked 4th fastest time, which was only 1 second difference between first 6 riders. Starting qualifying race was not the best. After a couple of corners, Ryan was circulating in 9th position, but not for long. He finished opening lap in 7th position and was far from done. Villopoto's riding was very impressive. He was picking best riders in the world with ease. On lap 3, he went around 3 riders on the same lap, passing Clement de Sal, who went down, then Roman Febvre, and most impressive pass was around Jeremy Van Horebeke. He had a very fast line through the rhythm section and railed outside the berm, leaving Jeremy in the dust. It took him a little longer to reel in Evgeny Bobryshev, but Paver moved just before the finish and he outdragged him to the corner. I still can't believe how impressive Ryan was riding. He moved past Max Nagel like he was lapping him, even though Nagel is a very fast rider who won multiple races before. There was not much time left, but Villopoto managed to close in on Antonio Cairoli with 2 laps to go. He got really close on several occasions, but stubborn Italian upped his pace and managed to stay in front. Ryan finished qualifying race in 2nd position, but his riding was really promising for the races the following day. Moto 1, it looked like Ryan got a really good start, but he didn't have the intensity that he had yesterday and let through a couple of riders. He went from 4th to 6th and then back to 5th on the opening lap. Shortly after the finish, he pushed around Van Horebeke to take over 4th position. On the same lap, Villopoto had an amazing battle with Sean Simpson. It looked like Ryan got the job done easily on his first attempt, but Simpson had other ideas and took the position back on the following corner. Few corners later, Ryan struck on the inside again and now it looked like a short deal, but yet again Sean powered down his KTM and protected the spot. On the next lap, Ryan yet again got the inside line on Simpson, but didn't manage to finish the move. Simpson riding was very defensive, but on the following section he made a huge mistake which allowed Villopoto to take over 3rd position. Now the big question was if he can go after the leaders and win his 2nd MXGP race. The answer was no. Other riders picked up the pace from yesterday and it was harder for Ryan to do what he did yesterday. He took some heat from Roman Febvre shortly after moving to 3rd but managed to hold it together. The next time Ryan got reeled in, it was not by Febvre, but by Max Nagel, who was charging hard after a bad start. Like I told you before, Max Nagel is no pushover and it shows how much the pace increased from yesterday. Nagel didn't waste any time and just dived inside of Villopoto and opened 9-second gap until the end of the race. Ryan rode a quiet race in 4th position for the rest of the moto, and that's where he finished. Moto 2, a horrible start for Villopoto as he emerged in 11th place after first couple of corners. Luckily, he had a good opening lap and finished lap 1 in 6th position. He made a move on Glenn Coldenhoff off camera for 5th, and just after crossing the finish line he pushed one horribly wide for 4th position. Even though he stayed close to top 3 riders, that's where he finished. First 4 riders finished 5 seconds apart each other. 4th overall for Ryan with 4th World Motocross, and he was also 4th in the championship standings after 3 rounds, 27 points down on the leader. 3-week break again and World Championship was held in Italy, Trentino. We didn't know it at the time, but it was going to be the last ever professional race for Ryan Villopoto. Hard-packed Italian track with tons of elevation changes. Ryan was struggling in time practice and had his worst result of the season. He finished the session in 9th place, over 2 seconds down on the leader. In qualifying race, Villopoto had an amazing start in 2nd place behind Antonio Cairoli. He stayed here for 4 laps, but Van Gouter Paulin scrubbed past him to take over 2nd position. Later into the race, Paulin lost his front end and gave the position back to Ryan. On the following corner, leader Antonio Cairoli lost his front end and went down. All of a sudden Villopoto was leading the race. Couple of laps later, same corner as Cairoli, Villopoto went down himself and dropped to 4th position, and that's where he finished in qualifying race. Yet again amazing start from Villopoto in Moto 1. It almost ended in tears though after 2nd corner just before the finish line. He clipped the edge of the track and almost fell off the side of his bike, but managed to stay on 2 wheels and in 3rd position. Not much happened for Ryan for 22 minutes of the race as he stayed in 3rd position just in touch with the leaders, but then out of nowhere with 5 minutes on the clock, Clement Desal went through and pushed Ryan to 4th. Villopoto stayed close to the top 3 riders again, and they all finished 4 seconds apart each other. But Ryan got 4th position finish 3 times in a row now, make it 4 if we are counting qualifying race from yesterday. Still, very promising race, not fast enough to win it, but just to stay in touch with the front runners and you never know what could happen. Second moto was underway and Ryan Villopoto was looking to end his 4th place finish curse. Ryan had a great start again and was in 6th place crossing the finish line. He worked some magic in first few corners of camera and emerged in 3rd position just behind Cairoli. He settled in and 5 minutes into the race he started reeling Cairoli in. He tried to make something happen on several occasions, but Cairoli was riding great and defending everything that Ryan was throwing at him. Soon after, Villopoto went down from hunter to being hunted, and Clement Desal started knocking on the door. Situation settled a little and for 10 minutes not much happened. Cairoli was holding 2nd, Villopoto 3rd and Desal 4th. With 14 minutes on the clock, it started to get tasty as 3 of them got closer to each other. Desal attempted his first pass at the bottom of the hill just before the pit lane, but Ryan protected his line well. On the following lap, another pass attempt by Desal by closing the inside line, but Villopoto responded again.
Villopoto responds and takes him off the bank.
An identical scenario 2 corners later, but same outcome as Ryan was riding very smart.
Play of action here from Desal and Ryan Villopoto letting Cairoli off the hook as well as he...
The pressure got better of Villopoto as he got whiskey throttle near the pit lane and went down hard.
Straight! Oh!
It did a touch.
No, Villopoto, whiskey throttle, wheeled all the way across and he is down, he's hurt.
He looked really banged up from this fall, but he managed to escape from the track. It took him a while just to catch his breath, but he withdrew from the race. After his crash in Italy, Ryan made a couple comments about it. Honestly, I don't know what happened. Everything was good, and then wham, I was on the ground. I went to the medical center for an X-ray, but they couldn't tell me if I broke anything or not. So we packed up, headed to Milan and flew back to Belgium Monday afternoon. On Tuesday, I saw a doctor who confirmed what I didn't want to hear. I broke my tailbone in 4 spots. Unfortunately, there's nothing they can do for it, so basically we just have to wait and let it heal. I want to race and plan on riding on Friday. After that, we can make the call if we are going to line at Walkinsworth. Hopefully, I'll have better news here shortly. Sadly, upon further detailed investigation, other traumas to his lower back which are still in the process of healing were discovered. Villopoto announced his retirement from the competitive racing few months after, saying he is still in severe discomfort from a crash that left him with tailbone and back injuries. It is with gratitude, humility, a bit of sadness but without regret, that I announced my retirement from the motorcycle racing today, Villopoto said in statement. Ryan Villopoto didn't appear to have much good to say about his time racing the World Motocross Championship in Europe, but he did acknowledge how hard it was even though only one of his 4 GP races came on the European continent, with the others in Qatar, Argentina and Thailand. Speaking on Pulp Mix Show, one of America's best ever said while talking to Zach Osborne, "I just spent a little small time over here, and it's a shitbox. Those dudes have it really hard. You want to ride a sketchy track? Go to Europe. They have wooden posts and rope, not that rope are going to break, rope that is going to tear your head off. Those dudes are way gnarlier than we are. That's why when most Europeans come over to USA, we don't want to leave to go back to what we have. It's hard to race over there, it's hard to ride over there. Just to do what they do is hard to do. But it gives an idea into the mentality in America and why it's so hard for even a rider of Villopoto's fantastic ability to succeed in the real motocross world outside the USA. Living and racing in their own country with everything that they are used to always in place, one culture, perfect supercross and groomed loamy outdoor tracks with perfect practice facilities, means they can struggle to adapt to the rest of the world. It's clearly 2 different motocross worlds between the USA and MXGP, and it shows why the MXGP remains the biggest test for outdoor motocross. You need to be good at such a wide variety of tracks and adapt to different countries and difficult conditions to succeed. That's what makes and defines you as the best outdoor motocross rider in the world. You have to be able to adapt.